So a lot of Protestants have problems with Marian dogmas and Mary, but it's just unbiblical. They'll say that the Catholics, they worship Mary. It's simply not true. Honoring someone is way different than worship. Worship is to God alone. In Scripture it says, whoever honors a righteous person will receive a righteous person's reward, and whoever receives a prophet as a prophet will receive a prophet's reward. And so that's what Scripture says. And so it literally says to honor righteous people. Now we look at Mary as a very righteous woman, as sinless. Because in Scripture it says, in the book of Job, it says, nothing unclean can come from something that's clean. Nothing unclean can come from something that's clean. I think I'm butchering that a little bit, but you get the point. Like, you can't be unclean. You can't produce something that's clean. And so Mary needs to be sinless in order for God, literally God himself, perfectly made, God, the incarnate, becomes a human, is in Mary's womb for 9 months, takes on her flesh, is born, and then Mary nurses the child, and then the child becomes Jesus, is God incarnate. That is very special, and that's why we honor Mary. The dogmas of the church are very important. Now, when the Assumption of Mary into heaven, this is a dogma of the church. It's around Vatican I. The Assumption of Mary. So science, this is one wonderful thing, how science confirms religion. Science found out that there are some cells, when a woman gives birth, there are some cells of that human still within the womb. So when you think about that, them being some cells. And so in order for the resurrection to take place, Mary needs to be assumed in heaven, because God is literally, some cells of God are in her womb. And so that's the doctrine of the Assumption of Mary. Also, very simply, Mary, there is no tomb of Mary. There is no tomb or grave that we can visit the Blessed Mother, but all the other saints, like we can visit St. Peter's tomb, and we can see and actually verify that this actually is St. Peter. And so St. Peter's, he's not in heaven, or he is in heaven, but his physical body is still on earth, whereas Mary is assumed into heaven. And there's 2 other notable people that are assumed into heaven, Elijah and Enoch. So it's very special. 3 people. And then, just dealing with Scripture though, in Revelation 12, verses 1-3, we read that this woman appears in the sky, and the moon is below her feet, and there is 12 stars, a crown of 12 stars around this woman. Now, when you think about a crown, think about it. This is royalty. And so when Catholics refer to Mary as the Queen of Heaven, she is literally the Queen, She is not God, she's a creature. Very simply put, creature. She was made by God, but is not God. And so we honor Mary, we revere Mary, but we worship God and God alone. So God bless you all. Jesus is the Lord. One true church, Catholic Church.